here's a song you might recognize, as long as I don't butcher it too badly. Okay, this is my Cigar Box Violin. I made it from plans from the, Cigar Box Nation website. They published plans that were originally published in the 1940s magazine, and this is basically the, followed those instructions basically to build this. So this is a broomstick, this is a cigar box. Starting at this end, these are just friction tuners from a ukulele, or for a ukulele rather, just ordered off the StuMac website. The broomstick was narrowed here just to accommodate these tuners here, these tuning pegs, just to about 1/2 inch width. The nut here is just a scrap piece of maple with slots cut in it for the strings. This is sort of a string tree, I guess you'd call it. This is just a piece of brass. I filed one side of it, and it's got a hole through it with a 440 by 1 inch machine screw. And it threads into this, which is another piece of brass rod with a threaded hole in it. And that just allows me to screw this down to increase the break angle on here. On a traditional violin, this part here is like where the tuning pegs is sort of lower, that peg box, so you don't have to put this in, but with this simple design I had to do something else. The fingerboard is just a piece of scrap hardwood I had from guitar making. It was too short of a piece for one of my regular Cigar Boxes guitars, so it worked out really well for this. It's just tapered from 1.5 inches here down to about 1 inch, with a slight, so you can see there's a slight curve on it there. It works fairly well. This is just a little piece of wood here to support the fingerboard. Strings are just regular violin strings. This bridge here was just purchased from StuMac.com. I figured for the price of these things, they could do a lot better job than I could. This is just another carved piece of, or leftover piece of hardwood I had, just with holes to retain the balls of the strings, and then a piece of fret wire here just to provide a place for the strings to rest. This is just a leftover E string from an electric guitar. The ball holds it in place in the one hole, and the other hole I just tied a knot, and that seems to hold fairly well. Another scrap piece of hardwood just glued to the front of this to protect the box. This broomstick goes all the way through and to the strap pin here. So that's just a regular guitar type strap pin that holds the tailpiece on, and it's screwed into that the other end of this broomstick. What you don't see inside the box, there's a bass bar running along here, like just a piece of wood, 1/4 inch thick. That's maybe about I don't know, 3/4 of an inch thick in the middle. Just glued in there to like a traditional violin would be with the bass bar. And I've got a sound post in there as well. Of course, it's glued in, not friction fit. And then the lid of the box here is nailed shut. This is actually the bottom of the box. The rest of this box is actually made out of cardboard. So this is the only part that's made out of wood. It's a plywood item, just like normal. The F-holes are like a normal, I guess I should say, lower cost cigar box. The F-holes, I just drilled these holes and then just kept cutting and cutting with an X-Acto knife to get the shape. The inside of the box of this, at least this side here, it's coated with multiple coats of tung oil. In the instructions they say you should really make sure the surfaces on the inside of the box are quite shiny. I guess that's to reduce the amount of sound that gets absorbed inside the box. You want it to bounce around in there to get a better sound. They actually even say it's more important to finish the inside of the box than the outside, at least with respect to sound quality. And the rest is just finished with a couple of coats of tung oil, just to protect it a bit and give it a bit of shine. It does sound like a violin, so it's turned out fairly well. I wouldn't mind making a couple more of these. This is the size box I used. It's a Fleur de Copan 20 short magnum. Let's see if it gets this to focus here. 60 by 4. I don't really know if it's 60 cigars, but maybe that's the length. I don't know. Anyway, that's the size box that I used. It's a ideal size box, I think. The scale length of this violin is just maybe about 12.5 inches. I think a standard violin is closer to 12. So scale length is a bit longer than a traditional violin, but it's, like I say, it still plays fairly well. All right, thanks for watching. And if you have any more questions about my Cigar Box Violin, just let me know on the the Cigar Box Nation website. I've got an account there. You can ask away. All right, thanks, and good luck with your building.